Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blue Steel Tarot. Today is April 23rd, 2023. I'm back for your weekly reading. Thank you to all of our new subscribers and folks that have been watching some of these readings on a weekly basis. I really enjoy doing them. I find them to be very motivating and uplifting for me, so hopefully you do too. And I'm trying to make them a little bit more educational too, and tying in law of attraction and tarot to my very favorite topics. So today what I thought I might do is we'll do a reading, but we'll kind of focus on the emotional scale. So if you've ever read this book by Esther and Jerry Hicks called Ask It Is Given, I am a huge fan of this book. I have no economic ties or investments in this book, and there's no incentive for me to promote it, but I do find it to be incredibly insightful. So you can see I have read quite a bit. I have read it many times. I have bookmarked. I have highlighted because I find it's just so empowering. The ways in which our thoughts can kind of create our realities, and how we can manifest and how we can use that power within us if we can avoid some of the triggers that kind of bring us down. So today I want to talk a little bit about the emotional scale. And so this is something that Esther Hicks talks about. Let me see if I can kind of get this on the entire screen here. I have to move these cards out of the way. So one of the things that Esther Hicks talks about is the emotional scale, right, and vibration. And so what we know from, the law of attraction is that like attracts like. And we often react to our external reality. So we're reacting to what's going on in our environment in response to people, places, things, thoughts, and other, triggers that come into our minds. So this is what Esther Hicks represents as kind of being the emotional scale. This is very broadly, socialized in other areas too. So it's not just Abraham Hicks. However, what the scale represents is a broad spectrum of emotions that we feel at various points in time, often in response to what's going on around us. So we're reacting rather than creating. So if you look at this on the upper right-hand side, we have like joy. So joy, freedom, passion, these are all the very positive vibrations. These are emotions that we generally really enjoy, right? We feel really good when you feel optimistic, you feel good. When you feel passion, sexual passion, career passion, whatever it might be. Joy, freedom, positive expectation, content. When you're feeling content, you're feeling hopeful. Those are all very positive emotions. As we slide down the scale, we have like worry and doubt, anger, with fear being at the bottom. And one of my psychic friends, often refers to fear as the false expectations appearing real is kind of like the acronym that she applies to it. So, or false events, it can be a whole bunch of things. False events appearing real, false, anything kind of false, right? But my point is that when we're on this lower end, we're vibrating at a lower wavelength. So you're kind of have a lower vibe. You don't feel good, right? You don't feel well. So what happens is, applying the law of attraction to this, if you're vibrating at low vibe, you are feeling doubt, anger, worry. Maybe you're feeling revengeful, or you're feeling jealous of somebody else. We tend to attract, if like attracts like, we're going to attract more of this. Whereas if like attracts like, and you're at high vibe, and this is the frequency, right? This is the frequency I just tried to illustrate. Might be faster. It might be a little bit more, you can see down here, this isn't quite as fast. So if we are feeling positive expectation that things are working in our favor, that we're going to get that job, that we're going to be successful, whatever the case might be, that a date is going to go particularly well, we're going to attract more experiences and evidence in our life that vibrate at this higher level on this emotional scale. So the key is identifying where you are in this emotional scale and moving yourself consistently back up to this side. The more time you can spend up here, the more positive things you're going to attract into your life. So today, what I want to do is I'll put this behind us so we can kind of have it just in the backdrop. Today, I kind of want to focus on what is your vibe of the week? What are the triggers? What are the triggers that are going to challenge and bring you down? The techniques we can do to kind of bring us back up the scale. And then the outcome if we're able to do this well in the coming, let's say week and a half, right? Or more. But like I said, these emotions, we experience these throughout the course of the day. And we're either reacting or we're creating. So you're creating in your mind the experiences, the emotions you are anticipating. And there's a lot of different, that book, Asking It Is Given, and others, Joe Dispenza, Neville Goddard, there's a number of techniques, visualization being a big one, right? On how can you control your vibration and kind of draw to you what you would like to attract into your life. So let's think about this from, let's use the tarot to kind of provide us with some guidance, right, for the week ahead. So your vibe of the week. What is your vibe of the week? And if I need to clarify, I can use the Love is Love Pride Tarot deck for that. So let's jump into vibe of the week. I'm going to use the upright cards. I'm going to look at them from an upright standpoint for now. So, okay, the vibe of the week, Queen of Cups. That is a nice vibe to have. What triggers, what might occur this week that could potentially bring down your vibe? Okay, the Star. Okay, interesting. What's a technique you could employ or use to raise your vibration? What might be particularly successful and helpful to you? All right, the Page of Pentacles. And let's see, the outcome if you're able to do this successfully. You have the Eight of Cups in the outcome. Okay, so let's think about the vibe of the week. The vibe of the week that I'm getting here is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is a great vibration because one, the cups are all about emotion, and queens are traditionally, they are emotional beings, but they're also nurturing. They are also very comfortable with their emotions, and they feel very, she's particularly, a loving, nurturing woman, feminine type of energy. Doesn't have to be a woman, but this is the type of energy that we glean from this card. Here, she's sitting on like a bit of a throne, which is made out of a shell overlooking the ocean. And the backdrop has a lot of purples and, pinks, so a lot of soft, warmer type colors. She's holding in her hand a chalice. So this is representative. This is the cup, obviously. So the cup is kind of covered. So in a way, I feel like she's kind of, looking at this cup and kind of gazing and imagining like what's in the cup. Long story short, I feel like this is a very positive emotion. So where does this align on the scale here? I view this as probably more optimism and positive expectation. She is, optimistic, looking out to the ocean. Hey, who doesn't feel optimistic and content, right? Who doesn't feel, that just popped out in my mind, who doesn't feel content and optimistic and just generally satisfied when you're sitting in front of the ocean, just watching the waves and all the magic that comes with the ocean? So this is a very good vibe to have. So it sounds like coming into the week, you're on the upper end. You're maybe not all the way, maybe you're not feeling the passion, the joy, and the freedom. But let's see, what could potentially bring us down this week? What could potentially bring you down? So we have the Star. So the Star is maybe following. So here's what it could be. This could be, in my mind, right? When I think about this, when I look at this card, the Star is kind of like following your North Star. What is the direction that you're being drawn to? What I'm feeling, what could be potentially bringing you down here is maybe some feeling like an obligation or thought that you need to kind of follow a particular path, and your guidance system is saying don't follow this particular path. That's kind of what I'm getting. So you're feeling like a little bit like what might bring you down a little bit is the feeling that I want to do this, but I should do this. So it could be a little bit more here. Maybe doubt is kind of what I'm feeling. So something like doubt might question you this week. Now, I mean, that's certainly not to say that the Star inherently in the tarot means doubt, right? Typically, sometimes the Star means wishes come true. It could mean, like I said, following your North Star, following your intuition. There's a lot of different things. Just in the context of this, that's the vibe that I'm getting, okay? That, it's this North Star, but it could be some doubt creeping in, or maybe some maybe some mixed emotions or energy that you're kind of like in this middle. Maybe it's a little bit of worry and doubt, kind of like I want to do this, but I should be doing that. So then the question becomes the techniques to raise the vibration, okay? Techniques to raise the vibration here. So what's interesting to me is like, look at these, like when I put these two side by side, they're kind of like facing each other, and each one of them is holding something in their hand, and they're really just kind of staring at it. So again, I think, like I said, when I think of the Queen of Cups here, it's positive expectation and optimism. She doesn't know it's in the cup because she's got it covered, but she might be like imagining and kind of thinking about that. And so when I look at the Page of Pentacles, to me, this is somebody coming in with a message. Is typically what it means. It's often related to news about jobs, career. Could be like the abundance of money, something coming in there. So what could really be raising your vibration, I think, is turning your attention to like what's right in front of you, kind of like what is going on in front of you, and express that gratitude. Grab hold of what you're grateful for. Maybe not physically, but emotionally. Grab hold of it and express that appreciation. So when you start to acknowledge all the things that are going on around you, and you start to feel, if you are feeling doubt or worry, just remind yourself about the skills that you have, the experience that you have, the way things have always working out for you. So this is where you can start employing your affirmations and so forth, right? We'll get some clarifiers on this as well. So what's the outcome when if you're able to do this well and kind of move yourself consistently? So if you start up here, you get pulled back down here a little bit in response to things going on in your life and the world. It's just a natural human experience. If you're able to kind of keep moving yourself back up here, which is the key, half the key to manifesting, creating your, employing and using the law of attraction effectively, is to maintain a status up here. If you're able to do that effectively this week, what does that mean? And I think, like, when I look at this, the Eight of Cups, this is moving on. This is leaving something behind. This is affirming to me that you would be making a substantial step in the right direction, in the sense that you're moving away from that negative energy, those things that are holding you down. I feel like you're moving away from this, right? This is basically saying we're leaving this behind. We're leaving behind all of this, and you're moving on to something that's even better. But this could also be kind of like starting to trigger and change your mindset, right? You're realizing there's something better for you. There are better things. Now, that could also be just, even just this week, right? You might, as a result of this, by focusing more here, right? The outcome of this, and this is, bear with me, because I'm like, sometimes these things just come into my mind, and it's just, things come in like flashes, right? So I think when I look at this, I'm like, wow, this is moving on to something new. This is leaving something behind. As a result of this, you might decide you deserve better than a relationship. You deserve better than a job that's no longer fulfilling, that might be demeaning, that might be unsatisfying, that might be creating all sorts of conflict within you that's really wearing you down, beating you down, and creating burnout. Could be something along that line. It could be just giving up some of the negativity from the people that are around you, right? Because if you're around people that are, have a lot of doubt. There's a lot of people today, right? We doubt that the economy is going to do well. We doubt that we're ever going to be able to retire. We doubt all of these things, and that can really drag you down. You're moving on. You're moving away from that. You want to move on to people that are more optimistic, that have more positive expectation, that have more joy and enjoy more in life. This is what you should be doing, right? Move on. Find things that bring you joy in life, and continue to pursue those things. Okay, and that's what I really love about this is, and again, I mean, I think if you can create and focus, how do you move up this? You can also, beyond just focusing on like expressing the gratitude, and you'll read more about this and asking it is given, there's a number of different techniques. It could be rampages of appreciation. It could be visualizing kind of what you want to create in your life and creating those emotions. I think that would be really wonderful, right? So let's just pull some clarifiers. I will use the Pride Tarot deck for that, and we'll kind of gain some insights from that piece and see if there's anything else there. Okay, so the vibe of the week, the Queen of Cups. Tell us more about the Queen of Cups. Okay, so we got the messenger. The messenger in this tarot deck, in this deck, this is different. This is not in the traditional, tarot deck. This is a replacement for the Hierophant. So this is the teacher. This is the, the messenger is delivering messages, delivering inspiration, empowerment. So I'm getting a very inspiring kind of thing here. And in fact, like if I put them side by side, they face one another. So there is a very positive vibe that's coming in here. I do feel like there's almost like an undercurrent though, like the fact that, remember when I said for the star, you're almost being held between like what I want to do, what I should do. This could be like teachings. This could be society. This could be the social norms, and that could be part of like that conflict, so to speak. We'll see if we can get some more insight on the star though too. I'm just gonna cut the deck because I don't know where I just put it down. Tell us more about the star. Okay, so the Seven of Swords. So this is kind of like defending your position. This could also be someone being a little sneaky. So, you might feel like you might feel this is a trigger, right? This is kind of like what would bring you down the scale down here. You could feel this could be more actually, and we don't represent it on this scale, but it's definitely embedded in the concepts. Guilt is kind of just comes right to mind. You almost feel guilty, so you're kind of slinking and sneaking away instead of being like, this is what I want, this is what I want to do, this is what makes me happy, and I'm going to do it. You might feel a little bit of doubt and guilt that this is something you should be doing, or that people won't approve. And, I think one of the things that Abraham Hicks says, I've heard it in her podcast and some of her YouTube videos, what people think about us should never be the reason that we don't feel good. Something along those lines. I think she said it a little bit more eloquently, but I'll say it again. What people think and say about us should never be the reason that we don't feel good. So just remember that this week, okay? Tell us more about the Page of Pentacles. Okay, the Nine of Wands. So this is, coming to the end of a difficult time, and kind of focusing on like that you're almost there, right? That the light is at the end of the tunnel, that things are getting better, that you're beaten down, but you're not done. And that you have been around the block, you have a lot of the experience, and you're a pretty tough cookie. And I think that's something to kind of definitely keep in mind as it relates to that this week. And then tell us more about this Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Okay, the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a wonderful card. Six of Wands is all about recognition. It's all about, achieving the success. You've come far, and people are recognizing that. People are seeing that. And so I think this is, you should be celebrating yourself, because other people are recognizing that too. As you're moving away, you're making so many improvements in your life. As you move up and down here, you're going to look and you're going to feel more. You're going to feel that people are really, they want to be around you. They want to be with you. They want to celebrate you. They appreciate the value that you bring to them. They appreciate and value your friendship and that kind of thing. So I think like as you're leaving behind some of the things that are no longer serving you, some of the things on the lower end of the scale here, you're just going to feel people are rallying behind you, and they don't even know why. They don't even realize that they're doing this, right? They're not intentionally doing this or responding to like your state on the emotional scale. But I do feel like when you're on the upper end, you're going to have a much more positive vibe, and you're going to attract positive people. Negative people will either the less attention you give to negativity, the less you're actually going to feel, and the less you're going to observe around you. So as you move up this scale, all the people around you are going to be high vibe, and it's just going to be great. So I hope this was helpful. Like I said, here's the emotional scale in the background. This is, the more you think about this and you become aware of the scale, you'll notice how you move up and down the scale and where you are on the scale. And you can learn more about controlling your reaction to things that are going on around you, right? We want to create, not react. And as you can kind of focus more on what you want to create in your life and why you want to create it, and experience and visualize living in that experience, you're going to stay more on this upper end, and you'll find that you're reacting less. You're reacting less to things around you. So if things are in this quadrant up here, in this second half, all positive, definitely give your attention to them. If they're on this lower quadrant, the worry, revenge, anger, hatred, fear, don't give any attention to them and they'll melt away. So hope this was helpful. Drop any questions or comments down below, and have a great week and be back again soon.